prior, and just wanted to make sure the officers were not going to be negatively impacted by the legislation. What I mean by that they would get less money for doing the overtime shifts. As we know, that we've been talking a lot about recruitment and retention, and I just wanted to make sure that this wouldn't negatively impact our law enforcement in any way when doing this type of service that is needed. We talk about roadway safety, and we were also talking about some tow truck operator bills to help make sure they're safe when doing their job. And just like the tow truck operators, DOT need this service. So I just wanted to make sure it maybe wouldn't deter officers from taking the shifts because of maybe less compensation or something else. Do we know, through you, Madam President, if this is going to violate any type of a union agreement that they may have in place now?
Senator Gaston.
Thank you. That is not my understanding. Essentially, what this is going to do is conform to the current agency practices, and so I don't see this having a negative impact.
Thank you, Senator Cicarella.
Thank you, Madam President. And that was a concern that I had, make sure that there wouldn't be any reduction there. And, as we were doing the public hearing and then we were looking at testimony, there was minimal testimony, so I just wanted to make sure that this is something that kind of was flushed out, and that was just a concern that I had. Do we know if this would have any effect on local police departments, or is this strictly to state police, through you, Madam President?
Thank you, Senator Gaston.
Thank you, Madam President. This would be only germane to state police.
Thank you, Senator Cicarella.
Thank you, Madam President. And just a couple of quick questions, and it may be challenging to know this, as the bill and the amendment is minimal in its scope, but we also have to just pay attention to the possibility of things. As we said, if it may be less compensation for the officers, they may be deterred to volunteer or take these shifts. Do we know if this is volunteer, or are they forced to take the overtime? Is there a list? Do we have any of that information, through you, Madam President?
Thank you, Senator Gaston.
Thank you. We do not have any of that information readily available. I would be circumspect to say that basically the agency and the department will ensure that whatever practices they go by now will likely be the practices that they do moving forward.
Thank you, Senator Cicarella.
Thank you, Madam President. And then just my last and final question, and maybe this will be part of this agreement. But do we know if this is time and a half, or if there's overtime associated with this? And if it's currently overtime, is there a safeguard that would not change for the officers, through you, Madam President?
Thank you, Senator Gaston.
Thank you. Currently, with limited information that we do have before us, I don't believe, however, that would be the case, Madam President, through you.
Thank you, Senator Cicarella.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, the good senator. And then just the last question, through our public hearing process and our role in public safety, did you hear any concerns from our officers or the state police that would be possibly affected by this, through you, Madam President?
Thank you, Senator Gaston.
Thank you, Madam President. To my recollection, the conversations that I was privy to and that I had, we believe that both departments will work in good faith with each other to ensure that we're doing what's equitable, fair, and bringing our officers that are on these major construction projects to parity and ensuring that we're doing the right thing about them. And so I think this is a step in the right direction. I have full faith and confidence in both of those agencies to come to a meeting of the minds to do what's appropriate and what's right.
Thank you, Senator Cicarella.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank the good senator for answering my questions. I don't have any additional questions. I just wanted to make sure the concerns that I had were addressed. I want to make sure that we're voting on something, but we don't understand the language of it, that there would not be an impact to our brave men and women that are doing this job, and that they were aware of what was going on. As we see that recruitment and retention has been an issue, and we want to make sure that we're not going to do anything to deter them from maybe taking these shifts. I don't know if they're mandatory. I don't know if they're volunteer. But we also want to make sure that in no way are we going to impact them negatively. And I look forward to seeing the language. And I'm assuming we would have heard something of concern from officers or the union. So I believe that this is a good amendment. I'm going to support the amendment and the underlying bill, and I encourage all of us around the circle to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Will you remark further on the amendment?
Yes, Madam President, I just wanted to say to the great senator that I bring him comfort if that was his issue, and sort of disappointment if that's your concern, because the union is fully on board with this and we didn't see any opposition. And so I just wanted to make sure for clarity purposes and for the inquiry of questions that you asked, which I think are totally relevant and you should know and the public should know, the state police union is unequivocally behind this. So thank you.
Thank you.